quite recently, I read a number of articles about the refugee crisis in Macedonia and Serbia, when thousands of refugees from Syria are trying to reach Serbian capital from Macedonia. And then before that, Hungary is preparing to build a wall with Serbia to prevent more refugees entering European community. As you know, some countries in the region are members of European community, some are not. So that might be a little bit confusing. But what is not confusing is that we are at a stage when tens and hundreds of thousands of people are illegally entering European community. So this topic is the migrations through the Toynbeean perspective. Many years ago, I read the study of a history of a very famous British historian, Arnmold, Toynbee, and he was analyzing the barbarian entering into the Roman Empire and the stages. So he said, first stage, barbarians are entering as hostages. When Roman Empire makes a pact with certain tribe, then they take members of the royal family as hostages, and their lives going to be honored as long as a tribe at large is, cooperating with the empire. Next stage is soldiers, because empire always needs more soldiers, and barbarians are willing to do that job for less money. And then next stage is families. Of course, families of soldiers are moving in. So then he goes into the depth, and he says, well, that creates a very difficult relationship between barbarians and the empire, because empire doesn't like barbarians. Empire needs barbarians. So this is the thing, and barbarians feel that. So barbarians also don't like the empire, but empire is offering them something they could not have back home. However, they feel, and they are, second-grade or even third-grade citizens. And the final thing is when groups of barbarians are now entering as a whole groups empire, and this is the last stage of the empire. Empire is now dissolving, and this is the very last stage. So, and then of course Toynbee was parallel to that in his impressive studies, analyzing all other aspects of the empire. Well, first thing to say about barbarians, but all what he really wants in his heart is to destroy the empire which was despising him all the time. And this is unique to all barbarians. They entered from outher. They are outher proletarian. This is his term. They enter our empire. Let's call it European community for the sake of argument. Although I'm now in Asia, and I'm immigrant myself, in a way, intellectual refugee from microwaves in Rijeka. Yeah, that could define me because they've been really microwaving. But this is the reason. Why barbarians don't like empire, because everything is under the Lucifer's control. Therefore, it's evil, and what is more natural for a person to hate than a whole civilization which is despising him? And the moment they actually destroy that civilization, is their heroic age. But after that, they don't know anything to do originally, so they start to copy the empire they destroyed. So, what is that has to do with our immigrations and our immigrants in Europe? It's the same mechanism, but the hatred between domicile European population and the Muslim immigrants is increasing, and it's evident because. Now we are in a phase where they're entering the European community in huge numbers, and European community doesn't need them, but can't send them away. But what is the most important thing is those, as I started to speak, those outer proletarians simply received another cultural programming. And therefore, with that cultural programming, one of those things is Islam. And as I said in the previous video, the difference between pop Muslim and a real Muslim is time. When powers that be, namely God of this planet, Lucifer, wants them to activate their rage, he's just gonna do it like that, and they're all gonna go crazy, same as us. Okay, this is how wars immediately start. I don't want to go into technical. Now I'm changing subject, but something influences people's aura and masses, and if programs are inside and they are inside, they just follow the programs, and this is how we have a war. So, let me go back to them, to those immigrants. Why they hate the empire? Because the empire despised them. Now they are crossing, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are crossing border between Turkey and Greece, and they are virtually left to do so. Thousands of people are crossing Mediterranean Sea in very, very dangerous way, and they're reaching shores of Italy. But before that, it was not the case. It was not the case because empire was much healthier. European community now suffers from the same disease as the Roman Empire. And that same disease is rich getting richer, poor getting poorer by design. You see, the mechanisms of the Roman Empire and European community are very, very similar. At its beginning, Rome was a republic of small owners. Farmers owned their land, and artisans owned their shops and their small businesses. And when time for war came after summer harvest, then they would gang up and go to war as a free people, as a republic. Well, this was officially, of course. But after that, after so many wars, happened that rich nobility started to buy off pieces of land and to invest into more industrial production. So they would specialize for, let's say, certain types of amphoras or certain types of wine and other products. And their products would be cheaper than products of small farmers. So small farmers are getting poorer and poorer. They've been ending up in Rome as impoverished people. Rome was drafting them into the army. They would conquer new territory, and then the whole process would repeat: more slaves, more specialized production, less people, less place for a small people. So, in the same thing is happening all over Europe and industrial world. Bigger are getting bigger, and smaller are getting squeezed out. And then at the end, nobody is there to fight for the empire. And then, because we are losing political consensus, what do we want? We are getting more and more polarized, and it's happening in states as well. People are getting polarized everywhere. That is creating weak states, and then that is creating a zone in which immigrants could do something they couldn't do before. They could cross borders. Because historically speaking, only a few decades ago, border between Greece and Turkey was very difficult to cross because both sides had multiple machine gun posts and barbed wire, and you can't cross, right? See, step by step, everything led to the final countdown, which is gonna be a major war globally, and it's gonna happen in my beloved Europe, and it's gonna happen between Muslims and non-Muslims. So, from the Toynbeean perspective, I can only presume that, let's say in that scenario, thanks to the fertility of Muslim population, their lifestyle, anger they have, and the mental concept that by killing they're pleasing the gods, I would say that they have actually big chances to overwhelm Europe and exterminate or convert European population, because they're already in Europe. They are coming in bigger numbers, and I would say if it continues like this, maybe 10 or 20 years, they're going to be majority in many European areas, and then after that, one or two little sparks, and then they can do what they've been doing in Bosnia, decapitate people. And Muslim population gonna jump from pop Islam, which is confined only for having a drink or two with the family on Bayram Day, and maybe remotely from time to time going to mosque to do service. Just gonna completely switch into the radical mode, into the takbir, Allahu Akbar, and so on. Is it stoppable? Well, in theory, yes, but in practice, I don't think so, because to stop such a big historical movement and such a big historical planned thousands of years ago by demons, you require en masse a big level of consciousness, and we simply don't have it as a humans. We don't have that level of consciousness which enables us as a species to understand its point in the history, how we came there, and where are we going to. But to recapitulate you easily, we've been in shit, we are in shit, and we are going to hell. This is what's happening to us. Why is that so? Well, because first of all, it's Satan and Lucifer and metaphysical evil. They are very good players. Second, we souls, we are minority in this system. Third, even as a minority within the minority is actually waking up. Majority of souls are obviously playing the role of the organic portalic majority, led by the Illuminati. That means metaphysical evil. So all leads to that solution, which is more conflict. But life is a lesson, and we are all learning. So thank you for watching me, and don't forget to read Arnold Toynbee, and if you like my video, to subscribe. Sorry for being politically incorrect. My goal was never to be politically correct, but to be closer to the truth possible, because I believe that this is actually the solution for our suffering. More we personally align with the truth, bigger chances are for all of us to finish earlier this experiment we are going through from incarnation to incarnation, and always in the domain of metaphysical lie which is so very well embodied by the religion called Islam, which I do not belong to. I do not encourage anybody to belong to that or practice it. But they are there, and they're going to stay, as many other religions in the past, which led to mass exterminations and conflicts and so on. And I'm sure in the future we're also going to have different versions of this kind of demonic philosophical processes where they teach people why it's good to kill in the name of evil. Thank you for watching me, and take care.